And we're possibly live.
Hello out there. Let us know if you can hear us so we have some idea of whether we should continue talking or whether we should get Joe back to work on fixing this problem. Anyone out there hearing us?
Can anyone hear us?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear us?
They can hear. Judd Goswick just said they can hear. Okay.
Woo!
Good. So,
Sweet. Hallelujah.
There we go.
hello, everyone. This is Inappropriate Characters. And as usual, I'm the RPG Pundit. And coming to you today, there's Venger, who for some reason has my lion and dragon image on his box. Oh, no, he's back now. Okay, I can see him.
I'll fix him in a second. It's because I had to
No. It's much better this way, Joe.
No.
And,
Not Gonzo enough.
Well, Venger, we have with us the man who made all this possible, our tech guy, Job, aka Hentai Dad, who is Joe Bittman, who is currently coming to you from an undisclosed location because he's hiding from his own children. So
That's correct. Yeah, what a world this is. I'm in an undisclosed location right now, but I do have a little image of myself from my secret base where I'm currently broadcasting from.
That's not very secret, dude.
very important.
There are palm trees in the
from
background
audience.
in warm weather.
Guys, very important. Well, that could be anywhere. That could be Uruguay.
You're definitely not in Wisconsin.
No, not Wisconsin. That's right. Got a very important comment already on the chat. Judd Goswick says, Venger is a big Lion and Dragons fan. Well, thank you very much, Judd, and thank you, Venger. So we'll now proceed on to the show. Today, this is the nearest that we're getting to Christmas in our programming. So I thought we'd make a little bit of a Christmas theme, and I guess we're going to start talking about, what we do. Do any of us have any particular traditions around Christmas and our RPG campaigns? Do we do anything in particular with our gaming that relates to that? And I know that Job probably has a lot he wants to say about this, so let's start with him. Job?
My Christmas usually is family and a lot of drinking, in proportion to how much family is around me. So not usually much gaming. There's just usually not enough time. I don't have enough gamers in my family. So yeah, I'm pretty boring at Christmas as far as the gaming front goes. How about you, Venger?
Generally, I'm just not a planner to the point where I don't plan out like a Halloween or a Christmas or Thanksgiving or Valentine's Day themed game like a month or two in advance. Like my planning is like very recently, which was last week, I had a game coming up on Roll20 where I just do various like 60 to 90 minute, almost like a demo of Chult campaign stuff on Roll20. And so I had a game coming up either the day before or the day of. And it was just some area like flesh-like cave rooms inside this spawn of the old ones. And I needed to fill it with something. And so I made one of them Christmas themed. And then of course, so there was the tree that was like the focal point. And then there was a couple presents under it. In one present, there was something good that happened. And the other present, there was something bad. And that's always fun for me as a game master to put these little things out there and then let the players decide, are they going to open both, neither, one? And if they do one, are they going to start with the bad one or the good one? And so fun stuff like that. And then, do you guys want me to tell you what was in the presents?
Well, whatever you want, dude.
Okay.
Do we want to know?
Wait. How likely is this to get the channel banned?
Oh, it won't.
Okay, well, carry on then.
Okay, but
Wait, how likely is it for me to get banned from my publisher account from Drive-Thru RPG after you tell this story?
Only 93%. I don't think we have to worry about it.
Okay, so
No,
worse
it's
chances than COVID. Okay, yeah, all
the
right,
show
I'll take
is
that.
the show is named Inappropriate Characters, guys. Come on, show a little backbone.
Carry on, yeah.
The only reason I would hesitate is I'm probably going to release this at some point, either like a little one-off scenario or as part of a larger work, maybe book 3 of Chult. I don't know. But anyway, so if players are listening, I don't know, the GMs can just change it around. So one present, you opened it up and a reindeer like just magically appeared out of thin air. And it would immediately charge the person opening the present and just stab them in the gut with their antlers, doing 1d12 damage. So one guy almost died. That was pretty fun. The responses were funny. Like one guy said, "Is this a dream? Are we dreaming this? Like what's happening here?" I'm like, "Hey, it's Gonzo. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a dream, but yeah, it's." And so then that was the first one they opened, and then the second one they're like, "I don't know. Maybe we should pass this one on by. I think Vengeance just trying to screw us over." But then another one was like, "Well, we might as well give it a try. I mean, come on." So they opened the other present, and you guys know what the elf on the shelf is, right?
Yeah.
It's like a little stuffed elf. So that was in the second one. And it turns out to the person opening the present, it had like a telepathic communication between the elf and the opener. And also the little elf would move when nobody was looking. So it's like weird and kind of cool, also kind of creepy and disturbing, maybe, depending on how you feel about living toys and things like that. So they decided to take him with as like a little pet or familiar or extra member of the party. And that was it. The rest of the area and scenario weren't really Christmas themed at all. But since Chult is like Gonzo up to 11, I just decided, and it was Christmas, in a week. I just decided to throw that shit in there and have some fun. And the players liked it. So yeah, turned out well.
All right. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I'm the only one of the three of us that doesn't have like a half dozen children. So first of all, Christmas for me is probably very different than for the two of you.
Yes.
And I also, I'm not a Christian, so I don't really celebrate Christmas myself. And ironically, I live in a country that isn't a big Christian country. Uruguay is really weird. It's like the only country in South America that has very low church attendance rates. So it's mostly a secular. It's like, it's like a European country in terms of the way they look at religion, right? There's the majority of Uruguayans are not very religious. So it's not a big deal here socially in that sense. It is a big deal in that on Christmas Eve, everybody's big extended family gets together, right? But I don't have a really big extended family that I'm in touch with here in this country, right? So my Christmases are usually pretty relaxed. The next day, I'll go over to a friend's house, one of the guys the guy who plays Bill the Elf, and we'll have some kind of big lunch and probably watch. Well, we used to watch Doctor Who, right? But nowadays, that would really just be gross. So we're not going to do that. And I guess we'll have to figure out what we do, and we'll watch something. Maybe the end of The Mandalorian. I haven't watched it yet. I heard things, but I haven't watched it. In terms of gaming, though, I'm not routinely a guy that does Christmas themed gaming stuff. I have a very strong tradition of doing whatever the gaming session closest to Halloween, doing a kind of spookier version of the normal campaign that session in honor of it being Halloween. But I don't routinely do this with Christmas, but I have done it a couple of times. I've done I'm trying to remember now, but I'm pretty sure I did one that was at some point in my hugely long DCC campaign where I had kind of a Santa type figure that had gone apeshit and was murdering people or something like that, and the PCs had to stop him. And I've done a few other things like that. You know, usually it's some twist on Christmas, not in a nice sort of way, but more in a kind of way that is either it goes to some of the darker, older roots of Christmas. Like, I did one in this one campaign, this historical campaign, I think it was that I looked at like the Basque version of Santa Claus, which is like this really crazy, like he's this guy that if you're bad, he'll steal you from your house and you'll never be seen again. You know, like, because the Basques are all nuts. And so I did that. Or just something really goofy, right? Like, you know, Santa Claus has an AK-47 and he's gone apeshit and the players have to stop him, right? But it's not a routine thing. Now, right now, I'm running a Star Wars campaign using Star Adventure. By the way, I got the Star Adventure book finally in like the print copy, finally arrived at my house. It's so beautiful, wonderful little book. I can't believe how nicely it came out published. So all of you listening here, if you don't have Star Adventure yet, pick it up in print. It's available in print and PDF for just $9.99. Beautiful. I loved how nicely it came out. It's a very small rule book that's just packed with stuff, beautiful art, so great. Anyway, I'm running the Star Wars game. So I'm thinking maybe, and I don't know if any of my Star Wars players are watching right now or are going to watch this later, but I'm thinking maybe I can do something around like Life Day, right? Because you know that the Star Wars Christmas special made it canon that there's this really weird, you know, Life Day festival in the Star Wars universe. So maybe it'll be Life Day. But this is actually a very serious Star Wars campaign I'm running. It's a campaign where the player characters are all basically like as they've escaped from the Empire, and they're this band of like high-end criminals that are doing heists and things like that, right? So it's not a goofy campaign, right? So it's going to be kind of weird if it just suddenly has this kind of Life Day special or a pseudo Santa Claus in this game. So I'm still not totally sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to do something this year or not. If the audience has any suggestions, feel free to share them in the chat. Also, let us know in the chat if any of you have some gaming related tradition for Christmas. That's I think it for me. Either of you have anything to add on this topic?
Well, I was just say fun fact for the listeners or the viewers. If you check out the Santa Claus picture on the screen, that's actually Pundit took that for us, so you can see him in the reflection of the glass there if you want to see what he actually looks like in real life. That's
Latino Santa Claus. I love it.
Yeah, well, you can tell that's not even Uruguayan. But you know, I gotta say, Christmas in Uruguay is so weird for a Canadian, right? Because if you're like, you know, you're used to, if you're living in the northern part of the US or in Canada, you're used to snow, right? Here, it's the hottest fucking month of the year, right? Like it's the middle of summer in a country where the middle of summer means in the daytime it's like almost 40 degrees Celsius, right? It's like brutally hot.
Is there a lot of fake snow? Like the people in Uruguay put out?
No, they don't have snow at all, you know, and you know what they do?
But like they pretend. They put out like, what are they? Not like cotton candy, but you know, like the white stuff, like pretending.
No, there's none of that. People do put up little Christmas trees in their house. Okay. And then what they do on Christmas Day, the traditional Christmas meal here is lechon, which is a suckling pig, right? So it's you know, in Uruguay, the main protein that most Uruguayans like is beef, right? They have tons and tons of beef. But on Christmas, for whatever reason, it's a pork thing that they do, right? And of course, lots of drink and lots of, you know, other dishes. The family gets together, and then the big thing that happens is fireworks, right? Everybody has fireworks. It's completely unregulated. So at midnight on Christmas Eve, the entire sky lights up with a massive fireworks show all over the city, right? And everybody gets really drunk, and that's basically Uruguayan Christmas.
What do the Canadians even celebrate during Christmas time? Is it Kwanzaa or something? Like, what do they do up there?
Yeah,
the French celebrate Christmas, don't they?
Well, they have the bonhomme de neige, you know, that kind of walking snowman dude with the French hat.
I have no knowledge of that. I don't know what that looks like.
He's
Is
I
that
know
like,
he's
like
an
the Stay Puft
icon
Marshmallow Man?
he's a Quebec icon of like I think he's like the guy that leads the Christmas parade or some shit, like I don't know, some French stuff, like nothing
Okay.
to do with us Albertans.
Huh.
Let me see here. Yeah, Judd Goswick says Krampus has been popular with the D&D set. Yeah, I'm sick of Krampus. I don't know if the rest of you are sick of Krampus yet or not. I am.
Yeah, Krampus was played out like 5-6 years ago. Pretty much right around the time that movie came out with John Cusack, called Krampus, Krampus Eve, something like that. I don't know. I saw it in the theater. Right around there, that was like the zenith of the Krampus stuff. And ever since then, it's just like kind of played out. But it'll come back, just like everything else does.
Dark Knight of Hibernia has some questions. Yeah. Some questions on the chat for me about lives, not for this show, but Dark Knight, send me those questions on Twitter or write them on the RPG site and I'll answer them. Sad Wings Raging says, I hit my players with a doppelganger as Santa. Okay, that's pretty clever, actually. Dracopol corrects me. Bonhomme Carnival is for February. Well, how the hell am I? Maybe that's when the Quebecois celebrate Christmas. They're weird. Maybe they're not even using our calendar yet. Who knows? I'm Albertan, in case you haven't noticed, Dracopol. Anyway, I guess we can move on, unless we have anything else to add. The next topic is possibly our juiciest one.
Oh, God. Don't look at the screen and say juicy.
What's going on the screen? Anyway, sorry.
You said juicy right when it popped up, so
that's unfortunate.
Oh, well, there we are. All right. So the subject today is that Venger almost got himself banned from Drive-Thru-RPG as a publisher.
Again.
And we want to ask the audience.
Again.
Again. We want to ask the audience, we're going to let Venger tell his version of events. Then we're going to see if anyone has an alternate version of events or any other, things that they want to say. Now, there's going to be a bit of cross-examination from me and Joe. And then the audience will decide whether Venger should be allowed to continue being on Drive-Thru-RPG or not. So, Venger, you may go first. Tell the story that happened to you. What caused you to almost get banned on Drive-Thru?
Before I begin, can you remove the poop emoji?
No, I'm already into the chat.
Put up some Fuchsia Malaise or something. Come on.
Yeah. We're on the chat now.
All right.
Okay,
anyway, let me just start in with the basics.
Yeah, to be clear, the poop wasn't referencing Chalt.
No, I know it wasn't. Okay. So, as a publisher, for people who don't know, you can send mass emails to your customers. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is go to the right page on their website, on the Drive-Thru-RPG website, and just compose your email with a subject, a body, and attach a coupon if you want, and then just send it. And it'll send it to all the customers that opt in or who don't opt out.
Venger, I hate to pressure you, but you've already got 2 guilty votes. So you better start making this more interesting.
More interesting. Okay.
0 in favor of banning you.
Okay. And then Santa jumped on top of my car, started shooting at me with his 9mm, and then I used my fist to.
I'll remind you that perjury is a criminal offense here, Venger. You got to stick to the story.
That
actually happened.
All right. Well, don't ask me to make it more interesting or juicy, because that's what I'm going to do. As my GM prerogative. Anyway,
Juicy.
If I may continue, my learned judges. So that's the way the Drive-Thru RPG site works with the mass emails. And I've been sending out emails, I don't know, at least once every couple months for the past, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. Aside from a few people here and there redeeming the coupon codes, I can't remember one instance of anybody mentioning or going to do something that I asked them to do or responding to me. So basically, it's like emailing out into the void. And like I said, every once in a while, someone will take advantage of like a 20% off coupon in some product. But 99.9% of the time, doesn't matter if there's 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 emails that go out to people that get them. It's like you didn't send an email at all. And so one night I thought, why don't I do something kind of crazy? Maybe generate a little interest, or at least get people to laugh, or I just want to see if this thing is even on. Like do people?
Okay, so just to interrupt you for 1 second, the court would like you to read the email into the register. Do you have it handy?
Well, the first one is pretty basic. It's just one sentence, so I can remember it. It's okay. I just want to let everybody know that I'm totally baked right now. I mean,
that's literally the whole email?
Within like a word or two, but yeah, that was it.
That was the whole of what you sent.
What's that? Yeah, and then I push send.
Were you actually baked?
I plead the fifth.
Okay. And what was the second email?
Apparently drive-through said that after that they got some complaints and they sent me like a warning email or something. I did not receive this. I looked through all my prior emails. I looked through my spam. I did not find their email that they told me about later after the second email. And there was one in the middle too, where I kind of paraphrased. I didn't really paraphrase. I used that quote or whatever from the original Terminator movie, where John Connor made Kyle Reese memorize this to tell his mother. Sarah, thank you for your strength in this dark time, and like you have to keep struggling or I won't exist, stuff like that. Except I replaced it, Sarah Connor with Venger Satanis or something like that. So that was the middle one. And then the next one, which was like a week later, I said that a role-playing game convention is probably about as stimulating as an online role-playing game convention is probably as stimulating as an online orgy. And again, I thought it was funny. Thought it was kind of true. Maybe it's funny because it is kind of true. And I knew that would probably ruffle a few feathers, but I thought.
Can I ask something here, Venger?
Of course.
Did you say it just like that, an online role-playing convention, or did you name a specific online role-playing convention?
No, it was very general. I was just like.
You didn't specifically say something like, I don't know, Gary Con is like.
No. Yeah, I totally meant in general.
Okay.
And just as a side note, Venger, I bought some lube at a sex shop the other day, and I just started talking to this the chick that was at the counter, and she was telling me about she was really into anime conventions, and she's so bummed with COVID and stuff. And I told her your line about online conventions are like online orgies, and she laughed her ass off. She was like falling on the floor laughing. Maybe it was my delivery. I don't know.
I think it's my material, but
what happened after the
share the credit there?
What happened after the second?
Okay, so after the second one, then I'm looking through my emails, and then I see one from Drive-Thru RPG, and it's this guy. I don't know who he is. Just this low-level guy who's a customer rep or something like that. And he said that there's been complaints on both of those emails, and that for right now, they're withholding access to the publisher part of my account. And so I'm like, okay, well, I didn't get a first email or a warning or anything like that. So this is the first I'm hearing about it. Now, to be honest, from the first email, I did hear some negative complaints, like on Facebook. There were a couple people who were talking about it online and were like all the stuff that you've done before, that's one thing, but this is like, you've crossed the line here, or this is like one step too far. I'm like, are you serious? Like, of all the things I've done, like that first email, that was just, that was just a bridge too far for that one guy. And then someone on the Chalt page of Drive-Thru RPG, like in this discussion area, someone was like, yeah, I won't be buying this product because if someone cares that little about their company that they would write that to their customers or would-be customers, that's just wrong, or something like that. I'm like, okay, LOL, whatever. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the whole of the story. But yeah, if you guys have questions, or someone in the chat has a question.
I do. I would like to know how many unsubscribes you got from your mailing list after you sent each of these emails out.
That's a good question. I don't know. From the first to the second, I don't know if it changed a little bit or hardly at all, because I'm sure some people unsubscribed or whatever, because I've got a total about 12,000 some total customers, but it only gives you, but only 5,000 something are contactable, or your emails actually reach them, like they haven't opted out. In both times, the first and the third email, they were both like 5,000 something. I don't know the exact number, but some people might have. But if that's going to drive you away, then you probably weren't going to buy one of my products anyway. And if you were, oh well. Like, if you can't take a joke or whatever, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, more than half of my, and this is what I responded to Drive-Thru RPG, because then people I mentioned it on Twitter and my blog, and then Aaron like hashtagged or did the @ thing for Drive-Thru RPG, and then they heard about it. So then the big guy got involved. Steve, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, Derek, come on. Like, don't do stuff like that. You know better, or whatever. I'm like, I mean, fine. If you guys have all the power here. So if you want me to stop doing that, what can I say? No, and get completely shut down. So I said, fine. But I also told them, over half my output now is either outright comedy or parody or,
or a joke of other kinds. Yeah.
Yeah. Or either like a complete joke or like kind of a wink and a nudge, like half joking. Or, a lot of stuff is serious, but it's got some sense of humor to it. Like, even the serious things has some in jokes in there and stuff like that. So that's kind of like my brand. If you're going to be put off my stuff because I told a joke, it's like, don't even seek my stuff out, because you're just wasting your fucking time. Most of my stuff is joking around. I mean, I take a role-playing game and my products that I put out seriously, but most of it is just to have fun and have a good time. And if you're laughing at least part of the time while you're playing, then that's a successful session right there. I feel like when I get together with my friends, we laugh all the time. Like, every 20 minutes, the table is laughing about something. And that's part of the experience to me. So I try to really get in there and embellish that. But I guess some people can't take a joke or don't like it when I'm not serious. So Yeah.
So before I pass final judgment, let's take a look at what the audience has to say, because they're going to be the ones that decide your guilt or innocence.
Okay.
Brad Miltonic says, kick Venger. Sad Wings Raging says, off with his head. Let's see what else here.
I think the jury might be a tad bit biased here.
Chad says, not guilty. Okay, so that's 2.
All right, I'll take Chad's plea, or his summary of
Aaron
events.
Static says, drugs are bad, okay?
That's true.
Judd
Funny
Goswick
though.
says, I feel bad that I don't get those mails. I already knew Venger is baked. Brad Miltonic, this is interesting. Brad Miltonic has now changed his vote. He says, LOL, I want to change my vote to promote Venger to CEO of Drive-Thru. Darren P says, seconded.
Third. Someone has the hashtag free Venger. Thank you, Dark Knight of Hibernia.
Dark Knight of Hibernia says Venger should be in charge of HR.
Yeah, I definitely should.
Aaron the Pedantic says this proves Venger's IRL sessions have real sex. Where was I? Judd Goswick says Job tried to bury the whole lube purchase in that story.
Oh my God! Come on, you guys aren't married. Come on.
What? I missed something.
Judd Goswick says my verdict, total non-issue. Chad says I remember the baked email. I read it. I was like, what the fuck? And then I ignored it.
Right. Well, half the people that reached out to me were like, dude, I think you might have gotten hacked. I'm like, no, that was me. I thought that it'd be kind of like I kind of pawned it off as like a guerrilla marketing technique.
Do what some idiots do. They always say that. Sorry, at least you didn't do what some idiots do where they post something they regret and they say, oh, I was hacked by, Russian bots or something like that.
I thought about doing that as a joke, but I knew that if I did that, and it would obviously come back to bite me in the ass, whatever punishment I received would be twice as bad, because it always is.
Yeah. Dark Knight of Hibernia says hashtag free Venger.
Yeah, I like that.
Calvinoni says, I'm offended. Meliora Henning, says not guilty. Venger's funny as hell. People have got to get over their lack of humor.
Word.
Let's see what else. Some of these people are just repeating their verdicts.
Well, did you get Trevor? Trevor said not guilty. His comment was true. It wasn't fake news.
Dracopole says the SJWs are going to slowly mutate into 80s fundamentalist Christians.
Right? Oh my God.
Solomon Kane says, now I want to subscribe to another email I won't read. Trevor Hurst.
There's always my Twitter account. I'm always posting and liking weird shit on Twitter. So you should find me out at Venger Satanis and follow me on Twitter.
Aaron the Pedantic says Venger would conduct diversity training on DTRPG staff to make that platform more inclusive of extraterrestrials.
Damn straight.
All right, so it sounds like the majority, with a couple of notable exceptions, have judged you not guilty.
Yeah.
I'm going to add to that, when I first heard about this, I hadn't actually looked at any of the, for some reason, I don't read Venger's blog as a routine, but I do often see him post links to his blog on Twitter, and then I'll look at what he's talking about, right? But for some reason this time, I don't know if Venger didn't post those, because I know you wrote about it in your blog. I don't know if you posted it on Twitter or not, but I guess if you did, I must have missed it. So when you first brought this up, I had no idea what you were talking about. I didn't know that you'd almost been banned. I assumed that you'd gone apeshit on a specific customer or something. I don't know, you'd called them some kind of racial or sexual slur or something, and then they got all offended. Right? And I was like,
I know better than that.
But you didn't. You just said two things that are kind of stupid, but not really in any way meaningfully offensive, right? It's just such a lame ass reason for them to want to suspend you or something,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I thought the leftists loved getting high, or the idea that marijuana was legalized or almost is, or whatever it is. Um, but apparently, no, not for Venger. Venger wants to get high. He gets the chair.
It's
And
a
then the
silly-
second one, I mean,
I'm just glad that that drive-through didn't, carry through with their
yeah,
stupidity and in that. I mean, it's fine. It like you say, it's their business, right? So if they
Right.
want to say publishers can't make emails that are non-serious, okay, fine, right? But
yeah.
then they should be really clear about that from the start, and
Yeah. I mean, I kind of accomplished what I wanted. I mean, I don't know if you have this where you guys are, but like in my
well,
own.
I'm not a publisher, right? So I have no idea what publishers do.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, so there's this bar in my hometown, and they've got like, a sign outside. And instead of being like, hey, we're advertising drink specials, 2 for 1 on Thursdays or whatever, they have these funny little witticisms or jokes. It's only like 2 lines, or maybe a decent sized sentence. And it's just kind of like a witty, snappy little funny thing that you would read, like in the paper, and be like, ha, 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 that's funny. And then you go on with your day. And like every week, they change the sign and it's like something else. And I thought, oh, I could do something like that. I mean, nobody's going to pay attention if I want my product reviewed, or if I want them to pay attention to, selling this book over here. Or, I mean, nobody gives a shit with the customer emails. They never have for like 6 years. So I thought maybe I could do this, and I could either brighten someone's day or, draw up some other following and get people interested in my books because they like these customer emails I send out. So something like that. But, and I understand drive-through RPG. I wouldn't want customers complaining either. But yeah, what I was putting out there wasn't offensive. Wasn't even that serious. It was just me clowning around. And yeah, a lot of people complained, so we're shutting it down. But I can still do it. Whatever.
I think it's a terrible precedent for drive-through RPG to set doing this. I mean, soon they're not going to let any stupid people send marketing emails.
That would be bad.
Thanks, dude. Glad you're on my side.
Some more comments from the chat. Darren P says hypocrisy is standard for the left. Yes, it is. Dark Knight says, Pundit, I love how Venger gets banned for sexy ladies, but SJWs praise that tepid game about the degenerate professors. Yeah. Dracopole says, Venger is a bad role model for 12-year-olds who might want to buy Alpha Blue. Hey, wait a minute. All right, I guess it's time to move on.
Admit it, Venger, you passed out and and the hookers got on your computer. That's what Sad Wings Raging said.
Well, Dracopole says you should put your risque stuff on an OnlyFans account.
I should create OnlyFans. Maybe I should team up with Grim Jim, because he does all that sexy role-playing stuff now.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel left out.
So weird. How he's fallen after he left Inappropriate Characters.
Has he fallen really?
You guys turned him. You guys turned him like
heights that we will never see.
You sucked out every last bit of decency out of the guy. He's just in the gutter, fucking sucking off hobos at this point.
Yeah.
There's attractive ladies on there. I mean, that doesn't seem like rock bottom to me.
It's the trajectory. It's the trajectory I'm commenting on.
Hey, if I was single, I would be doing that shit like every night of the week, and I'd be streaming that. Bam.
Yeah, I remember watching one of these Inappropriate Characters when you told us all your let me kill Mr. stories.
The what stories?
Oh, never mind. It's a Motorhead reference.
Yeah. All right. So we should move on to the next topic. Before that, I guess we should Is it time, Job, for us to talk about what we're shilling this week?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it. I don't have any shill screens, so I can show some old ones. They probably won't work. I don't know. Here we go. Do you're shilling? I got Star Adventure on the screen.
To me?
Oh Jesus. Yeah. Okay.
Here.
Boom. Let's see what this one does.
We got the hardcover of Charles.
Here we go.
Oh, he's going first. Okay.
No, it's you. No. Just talk. It's on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Just talk.
You got it cycling
it's on
through.
the screen.
Okay. Anyway,
yeah. They can't see your video, dude.
Got it. All right. So
put the book's up there.
We got the hardcover of Charles Fuchsia Malaise. That's right. I got the hardcovers now. They look awesome. I don't know how to position this so I can show you. There's like stuff in here. Ta-da! Anyway, they're awesome. Like 225 pages, gorgeous hardcover. This is fancier than anything Wizards of the Coast has ever put out. It's all compatible with like D&D. So 5th edition, old school. I mean, it's hit dice, hit points, armor class, all that stuff. It's Gonzo, Eldritch, post-apocalyptic, science fantasy. So if that's your bag and you don't mind a few jokes along the way, check out my blog because that's where I'm now selling the remainder of the print run that didn't sell through the Kickstarter. So yeah, I got a lot of books, selling them now.
Looks cool.
Yeah. So visit my blog, and then there's details on how to order and how much they are and what to do. So yeah.
Don't delay.
So as for me, to start with, since he's got a screen of it, I'm going to talk a little bit about Star Adventure. As I mentioned earlier in the program, I finally got my own actual print copy of Star Adventure. That tells you how horrible the Uruguayan mail system is, because I ordered, the Spectre Press sent me an author's copy of Star Adventure. They sent it out when Star Adventure first came out, which was like, I don't know, what is it, 6-7 months ago now? And it was a while ago anyway. And it took until this week to show up. It took months to arrive. It's just crazy. But it looks really, really good. And coincidentally, Star Adventure has now become an Electrum bestseller on DriveThruRPG. And you can pick it up there in print and PDF for $9.99. And I already knew it was a great system. I already knew it was a good PDF, but I can also now personally attest that the print version looks really good. I'm sure I'll do a video about it on my channel later, where I'll do a flip through so people can take a look at it. And yeah, it'll be good. So be sure, this is something you can buy right now. Go to DriveThruRPG. Star Adventure just costs $9.99 in print, and you get the PDF included.
What a bargain.
Sorry, did you have a question?
No, I just said, what a bargain. What a bargain.
Yeah.
Someone's asking about the Invisible College. Is that the fast track and ETA?
I'm going to go in order because the next thing that is coming out before that is World of the Last Sun. And World of the Last Sun is almost ready to go out. I just got an email today from Spectre Press saying that the hardcover, they've gotten the proof that it's going to be available in hardcover and in soft cover. And they've got the proof of the hardcover, and it looks great, according to them. I haven't seen it, but I trust them. They do good work. And the soft cover is also coming out. They're waiting for the proof of the soft cover. As soon as it arrives, and assuming it looks okay too, then the product is going to go live. So check that out. World of the Last Sun is going to be a big book, 200 and some pages. I forget how much, 260 pages, something like that. It's a complete world guide to the World of the Last Sun that's going to be full of stuff that you can use as the setting, completely as the setting, or that you can cannibalize for your weird fantasy games. A lot of stuff in there that would probably match pretty well with with Chult, for example, because both of them are these kind of weird fantasy gonzo worlds, slightly different tones, but you could mix and match for those of you who like Venger's work as well as mine. but a lot of other stuff you can use it for too. And it's going to be a really, really great book. I'm not quite sure yet what the prices are going to be, but they'll, when it comes out, they'll be out there. And I know they're not going to be too expensive. So stay tuned for that. It's probably still coming out before the end of the year, before the end of December. So keep your eye open. Now, as for the Invisible College, those of you who are who follow me on Twitter and on Parler and on MeWe have seen that I posted now a picture of the cover of Invisible College, that they've completed the cover illustration, looking great. The book is looking great. They are, really, it's become the main thing that Bannerman Games is working on. The Occult Detective is publishing it. It's going to look really great. I've seen some of the interior art. The interior art is going to be amazing. And it's going to be an exciting game, but it's probably not coming out until sometime. I'm guessing it might come out sometime around March, right? Maybe later, maybe a little earlier, but that's a very vague date right now. So there's still going to be time. You're going to have to wait for that. But it's looking good. And on the topic of the Invisible College, one thing that I've been asked to do is some additional play testing. And I've decided that I'm going to probably do a closed play testing group that's going to be online. That I'm going to pick a few select people to participate in that play test. And so we'll probably do a number of sessions, probably 4-hour sessions once every 2 weeks, for at least a few weeks. If we end up really enjoying ourselves, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. It'll be the first time I'd ever DM'd a purely online game. So I'm not sure how well that's going to work out. But it's mainly going to be for the purpose of trying out the system and trying out the setting. But if we really enjoy it, maybe we'll keep going. Who knows? Because I do like to game. So if anyone listening is interested, I'm going to pick a fairly select crowd. But if you want to kind of put in your name in the hat for the tryouts, then let me know. Send me a message. Either you can send me a message on Twitter. You can send me a message on Parler or MeWe, I guess, or send me a line on the RPG site. Get in touch with me, and then we'll see. I'm going to pick a few people, and we're going to start this up. Hopefully, I think by early January, maybe even earlier. Depends on how quickly we get organized. So that's the plan. And if anyone, therefore, is really interested in getting a chance to play the Invisible College before it even comes out, this is your opportunity. So get in touch with me. And yeah, I guess that's all of my promotion. As usual, if you want to support me, check out all the RPG Pundit Presents series. You can find them on Drive-Thru RPG. They're all PDF books, and they're all between $1 and $5. And so it's like you're buying me a coffee, but you're also getting something you can use in your games. And that's it. I see some people in the chat saying, "Oh, sign me up for the playtest," something like that. Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to keep track of who said that. So you guys have got to send me a message somewhere else. If you have my email, send it to me by email. Most of you don't. So if you don't, then send me a message on Twitter or something like that, something where I can take a look at it, without having to stop to write anything down right now. Okay. The next topic is the last topic of the evening. It has to do,
Pandit, what about me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Job. I thought you said you didn't have anything. Go ahead.
I was just going to throw this out there real quick. It'll only take me 30 seconds, and I'm not as wordy as you guys, but I'm going to be running 4 days of Brutal Blades playtesting stuff for GaryCon this year. That's March 25th through 28th. So if anyone wants to get involved with that, the games will be posted early next year. And that's it. Okay, so on to the next topic.
Okay, so we would be remiss if we didn't talk about stupid stuff SJW is doing now. And this week on Twitter, the main stupid thing that SJWs have done is they started up making these posts where they were talking about consent in gaming. And they're not talking about some kind of sex thing. What they're talking about when they're talking about consent in gaming, apparently their latest claim is that if the DM wants to kill your character, like if you're playing a game of D&D and you've got a guy with 7 hit points and he gets hit for 8 hit points and he should be dead, you're not actually allowed to do that unless the players themselves consent to the character dying. That's what they claimed, right? And of course, quite a few people pointed out how stupid that was. And the SJWs got really mad at that. And then I didn't see this when they posted originally, because I don't follow a lot of SJW accounts on Twitter, but I always end up seeing it from somebody else's response to it. I forget who it was that responded to it that I found. It might have been Aaron. I'm not sure. Was it you, Aaron? Anyway, I saw somebody, and I made this post on Twitter where I talked about how, this is a typical element of the current mentality of new school players being encouraged to act like spoiled children, right? And of course, all the SJWs got mad at me. And then what they jumped into, in my case, I had some of these people were posting to say, that you're only, the thing you have is that you really want to murder people in real life. And you just, because you can't kill them, you're going to kill the player characters, right? Like, so apparently, according to them now, if you're the DM and you kill off a player character, it means that you're a secret would-be murderer, And that was just what they said to me, because I saw that to like some other people. They were claiming, if you're going to kill someone and that person is a person of color, it's because you're a racist, right? You're going to kill their character, then you're a racist if you kill their character, right? So it's just so, these guys have just become so absurd, I don't know what else to say about it at the moment. Any comments, Joe?
Yeah, I saw your tweets and some other. Yeah, I saw your tweets and other tweets. Am I on mute? Okay. About like with power word kill, that like that people one of the classic spells and stuff like that are just don't have any place in the game anymore, because you can't just kill a character. You can't have save or die or anything like that anymore. I think that whole situation is just ridiculous. I put a couple just tweets of people saying dumb things on Twitter on the screen, but I do agree somewhat with you with the guy who was messing with you, because I do want to murder people in real life every time I get on Twitter. But I don't know. I mean, I think if there's no depth at the table, that it makes for a really boring game. And I really don't understand how all these people get like so attached to a character and all this other stuff. I mean, it's honestly, I get bored with a character. I want to play a character from level 1 to level 20. I'd be like, Jesus Christ, it's so boring. I want to be something else now.
Yeah, my critique was something very similar to that, where what I pointed out is that basically a world where your player character can't die without you allowing it, it's a world that has no meaning anymore, right? So they've destroyed all purpose and all sense of verisimilitude in the game.
Hey guys, I gotta go.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Shocker.
Remember, everyone.
Big surprise.
Stay up later. Be sure to support the Inappropriate Characters on Patreon. You'll see a link in the description of this video. Give us some Patreon bucks to help Venture get to stay up later.
And Merry fucking Christmas.
All right. Talk to you soon, Venture.
He's packing a bowl right now. I figured now we know all of the secrets, man.
Now he's baking himself.
He's like, oh no, I guess it's all scheduled. His wife schedules it out for him. She's like, honey, here's your lighter. Here's your gravity bong.
So Dracable has made a comment in the chat that I thought is very apropos. He's doing a quote here that says, "If you cast..."
Wait a second. Did you just say apropos?
Apropos, yes.
Okay. I just making sure.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
No, I thought you said abrabo with bees in it.
No, apropos. Maybe it's because I had a pipe in my hand, in my mouth at the time.
Are you packing a bowl too? What's the world coming to?
I'm packing a bowl of Argento Natural, an all-natural tobacco. Anyway, Dracopol said, if you do magic in D&D, it's because you're a secret would-be Satanist. Quote, all the 1980s. Yeah, this is actually a kind of the same, right? It's the same sort of accusation that you had the Christian fundamentalists making in the 80s, that if you were, casting spells in D&D, it's because you're worshiping Satan. It's just that same stupid mentality, right? It's absolutely ridiculous the way these people are behaving. And
moral panic.
And it's not just killing a character, right? Because there's already was, even before this, but I saw that the topic has come up again, that basically D&D should ban any kind of mental manipulation spells, like charm person or things like that. Because that's a huge violation of consent. And apparently if you're casting charm person, it's basically like you're raping someone, right? So anyone who casts charm person is probably a rapist, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure the 6th edition of D&D is just going to be filled with all this crap. It's going to be, the most boring game you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's quite an issue there, because what's happening is that the real situation is not that, gamers who are playing the regular game the way it's meant to be played, where, you have a chance of a character dying. It's not that there would be murderers or would be rapists. It's that the new school players who are playing these characters that are just extensions of themselves are actually the ones that are conflating fantasy with reality, right? They're using D&D as this kind of therapy where they get to play the version of their inner self the way they wish it was, right? Or some bullshit like that. And so, of course, they don't create, like, the purpose of an RPG is for you to immerse yourself in a character that isn't you, right? Not to celebrate your diversity or some nonsense,
Right. Or not even celebrating your own diversity, but like virtual signal to other people, like, your own moral superiority, I guess. I don't know. That's one of the things that, I know we've hashed over this in the past, but, like with the X cards and drawing the veil. And, I saw a lot of this because I played with a lot of the story game guys in Seattle, back in like 2014 and stuff. But a lot of this, like X card, or all this player consent stuff, to me it seems like a lot of it is just like it's taken from like BDSM culture, and a lot of these things, it feels like it's some kind of therapy session or something. And if you're so fragile and mentally unstable that you can't, that you have to like be warned about every possible troubling topic that might come up, or agree to something before it happens to you, like some kind of millennial sexual encounter on campus or something, then you might as well just stay home. I mean, go get therapy. I'm a GM. I'm not here. You're not paying me. I'm not your therapist. Like, just go home and get the help you need, and I hope you get it. But you shouldn't go out into society and expect that, especially people that are coming together for like escapist fantasy, good time, like that they want to support your mental progress or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron the Pedantic points out, imagine the Tomb of Horrors, but nobody consents to death. What a challenge, well, precisely. Right. The thing is, Tomb of Horrors is not an acceptable way to play from their point of view. The right way the way that they want to play D&D is basically that they're guided by the noses, or I guess handheld, walked along by a kindly DM from one set piece conversation to another. They get to show off how they would behave in their fantasy version of themselves, where they're all wonderful and spectacular and, and so stunning and brave. And then they have like a fight, but it's not a real fight. It's like a fight that you easily win. And then they sit around, a coffee shop talking about stuff or something like that. It's never, not even a tavern, right? It's got to be like a coffee shop run by a pair of bisexual ogres or something. That's the future of D&D under these people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's not a game I would want to play. I think it's not a game a sizable proportion of their current gaming base would want to play either. But I guess we'll see.
Well, I think you're right. I think that the trap they're falling into here is that there's a lot of people who kind of want to be part of this fake Twitter /Tumblr /Critical Role D&D community that talk a lot about this stuff, but don't actually do any playing, because there's no point for them to do playing. That's not what they really want to do, right? And those people also probably aren't going to end up buying a lot of product. And if the market, if Wizards orients its products to those people, they're going to end up starting to see some serious losses, But that might be good for the OSR, because people who want to actually play a real role-playing game are going to have to look for alternatives. So,
yeah. I mean, they've always said, or people have always said that, the way that D&D goes is, the way that the rest of the industry goes.
And I think that's true. I think that inevitably in the long term, if D&D is doing badly, the rest of the hobby will end up doing badly too. But in the short term, it can be beneficial. And I think that there might already be some indications of that. Like I know that for me personally, this has been this year, which I'm sorry, because for a lot of people, it's been a really shitty year. But I've lucked out this year. I live in one of the only countries that never had a lockdown, and I've had the most profitable year of my life, So like, for me, my products are only doing better and better. And I think that some of that is probably because there's a lot of people that are dropping out of standard D&D and looking at other stuff that they find a lot more exciting to play.
Yeah. Somebody said, oh, God damn it. Where was it? Someone said something about, I'd love to hear, Chad said, I'd love to hear Robert Schwab's opinion on RPG consent form. I love that too. I want to try to reach out to him. I talk to him sometimes. I got his email address, so I'll see if he comes on. If he would come on the show. I don't think he would.
Well, if he did, that'd be great.
I don't think he would do it. He pretends to be pretty hardcore, but at the end of the day, I think he wants to cover his ass, because I think he makes his living through gaming. So
I see. Well, I make my living.
Got to be. Yeah. I don't know. I would think. I think the majority of people in the RPG industry are scared to get anywhere near you. You know what I mean?
A few, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that there are. I know a lot of them. I don't talk to Robert Schwab, but not because I don't want to. I just have never kind of run into him. But I know people. There are people who are in the industry that are fairly big names in the industry that talk to me in private, but have made it very clear that they couldn't possibly talk to me in public or seem to support me in public, right? And there's quite a few of them, actually. So it's I think it's very funny how that is. But I guess, Robert Schwab, you have now been called out. I hate to do this to you, but it's official. You're now going to be considered a wuss if you don't come on this show. So come on.
I wouldn't blame him. I swear to God, I am gonna email him and see if he'll do it. I mean, he wrote he did the rewrite of what was it? God damn it, the Book of Vile Darkness, right? So, which I aimed to top that with the Towers 2, which I think I did.
He's produced a lot of stuff.
He's a workhorse. That guy is just like a word machine.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a show where you can come on and call me an asshole. That's not a problem. If you want to come on and gain a bit of points having a big debate with me, you can go ahead. But have the guts to go up.
Chad said that Schwab's got a podcast. I had no idea. His first
Oh.
D&D 5e podcast, he talked about stone coming. You know, stone cunning, stone coming.
Oh, I see. Oh, there you go. I mean, you come on. If you can do that, you can come on Inappropriate Characters.
All right. He's a pretty twisted dude. I really like him. He goes to GaryCon, so that's where I know him from.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I've never been able to get to GaryCon, unfortunately.
You should go. Well, you know, there was that year that I ran. I played your game there. Remember that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The last, for people in the chat room that don't know, the last GaryCon, Kyle Chenier, you know, eternal douche, SJW, supposed game designer, who just writes utter crap. I ran one of his adventures, the Orcs of Dune Pass, or some trash. It was terrible. But I ran it with, but I used Lion and Dragon, and so I posted that on Facebook and everywhere. I know he saw it because like Dyson logos. It was, I don't know. I mean, he does some cool maps, but I don't like his politics at all. But you know,
so
I don't
what you're
have
basically saying is that it was a collaboration between me and Kyle Chenier, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was like a match made in heaven. You know, these two great people. But you know,
he is now officially associated with the RPG Pundit.
So yeah, I'm sure he loved that. But I don't know. I think, you know, let's tie these two things together, man. Let's just bring the two sides of the brain together and this fucking achieve balance.
Dark Knight of Hibernia on the chat says, people afraid of the pundit are spineless cowards. Yes, they are, Dark Knight. Yes, they are.
Oh my God. Grim Jim said it the best. You're a pussy cat. So
Grim Jim said that?
Yeah, he did. He said it on Twitter. He was defending you. Some people were bitching about you, and he was like, he said something like, you know, pundit talks all big, but he's just a big pussy cat.
Wait, I didn't see that. Is that recent?
No, that was months ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because all of my, you know, I've had a lot of different publishers, and all of my publishers, if you ask them, they all say, oh yeah, he's a really great guy. He's easy to work with. He's reliable and everything. You know, like people have this impression of me that I'm the enfant terrible of the gaming world, you know, but
right.
You know, I wouldn't be as successful as I was if I was you know, all that difficult to work with.
Right. Yeah, it is. Well, because, you know, there's 10 mentally ill Twitter users that, like, you know, just will tweet all day about ridiculous things.
Dracapole says, let's start canceling people by hanging around GameCon queues where everybody has to pass, and we take photos of passing RPG publishers with the pundit to end their careers. That's great. We just kind of like photobomb me next to, I don't know, whoever. I'll put my arm around Jeremy Crawford, you know, and then I'll take a picture, you know, like best friends with the pundit. That's the end.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious. He doesn't know what you look like, so that would be amazing.
Well, that's the world we live in, where just being associated with me can well, I mean, the only people who would be ruined by that are pretty much assholes who are part of the SJW culture anyways, right? Because anybody else, oh yeah, what's going to happen, right? Like, what's the worst that's going to happen to you? Some SJWs are going to say, oh, you like the pundit, you're evil, right? And that's it. And then people who like the pundit will like you for it, and you'll get more customers, you know? And people that already like your stuff aren't going to stop liking your stuff. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. There's a lot of communities have been infected by this thought. It's pretty bad. I mean, like DCC RPG, you know, I was there on the ground floor at the very beginning and started writing for them at the start, you know, and I started the first podcast, you know, and I mean, when I go to GaryCon now, or in the past at least, you know, not since this COVID crap started, but like, they've all that entire like fun gaming community that was inclusive of like everybody, no one like was judging anybody, has turned into this like I don't know, just like a high school girl, mean girls club or something. It's really weird.
Yeah, but that only happens because people in power get scared and then do stupid things in response to the threats of people who shouldn't have any power, right? So you take away their power and then they can't do anything. And I mean, I'm the living proof of that. These guys have been trying to destroy me for 15 years, and I just keep being more successful. You know, like I said, this has been my most successful year ever. So it doesn't show any signs of stopping. Every time they predict my doom. My when I started doing YouTube videos, just like when I started doing blogging, and just like when I started doing my RPG site, every single time I had like hordes of these guys predicting, oh, look at this, he's going to fail. Look at how pathetic he is. It's not going to work. And every single time it ends up being a big success. You know, like I've just had my 3,000 subscriber live stream, and I keep growing, and I'm doing real well there. You know, like it's changed. It's upped my game. You know, and every time I set myself to do something, I end up succeeding. And in fact, their outrage only helps me succeed. You know.
Yeah, you know, you just got to harness them and hook up the, you know, SJWs to the money plow and just set them off.
Yeah, there's nothing that they can do to someone with a backbone. Dark Knight of Hibernia says, "Is Twitter cesspit of degenerates or loony bin? What do you think, pundit?" I say, why not both? You know, for me, actually, right? Twitter is the funnest Android video game for my phone. That's what it is. You know, like I other people will be playing other stuff on their phone, other games. I go on Twitter because it's just an exciting game to play.
Yeah, I'm kind of a lurker. If people follow me there, I mean, I want to talk to me, that's fine or whatever. I just kind of I try to stay on top of some of the like ridiculous things that people say, but I don't know, it's just hard for me. I live a really full life, and I got family and work and all kinds of stuff, and it's, it fits into the 5% of time that I might have left over between, all the other shit I'm doing. So I don't know. I don't know why people get so into it and get so, hate filled. I just think they just, probably don't have very happy lives. Present company excluded, of course.
Well, I have a very happy life. The thing is, there are the people there that are outraged, and then there are the people there that are, trolls, I guess you could say. I would call them happy warriors like myself, right? But and you can tell the people that are just taking the piss out of everyone and are having a great time doing it, and then these people who are getting upset about absolutely everything. And obviously those people are miserable human beings, right? And they would be without Twitter anyways. I don't believe that Twitter is the cause of it, but maybe it exacerbates an existing problem, an existential problem that these guys have, which is probably because they've embraced postmodernism and therefore their lives have no meaning,
Right. No, I think that's true.
Darren P says, RPG Pundit, you were mentioned on Sargon's podcast the other day again. Yeah, that's right. I haven't mentioned it too much, but yeah, he he had mentioned me once before. And then in this latest podcast, he said he's looking forward to seeing my my book on the Crusades, except I'm not really working on that one even yet. I'm working on one right now about the Silk Road. But even that one, I've hit this massive writer's block, and I don't know. Like it's still very, very early, very, very early days.
Yes, I don't know who it is, but someone keeps doing the. He's actually mentioned to you that I've heard 3 times, because I love Sargon. I listen to him.
Oh, really?
Actually, I'm putting him in Brutal Blades. I want to make him one of my patrons, Sargon, Duke of Hell. But
good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make sure it's okay with him, I guess, if I can find out on his Discord or something. But yeah, he's mentioned like 3 times, but yes, I don't know if it's one of your fans in the chat room, but someone keeps paying for the, what do you call them, the super chats or whatever. And I was like, man, that's brilliant. You pay $10, $5 super chat, and you can get Sargon to like talk about you. That's amazing. I got to do that, man.
Thank you to whoever did that. I don't know who it was, but whoever has been doing that, I appreciate it. I hope that maybe Sargon, if he keeps getting the getting messages about me, he might decide to come on our show or something, you know.
That would
I
be
know
rad.
he's a game.
Yeah, he's moving away now. I don't know if you follow him a lot, but he's moving away from like even using the term name Sargon anymore. He's basically like the branding has been like
Name
destroyed.
of his channel and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's like, they do the Lotus Eaters now, and then he just calls himself Carl Benjamin, I think now, just because.
Well, that's fine. We can have Carl Benjamin on the show.
Yeah,
he should try playing some Lion and Dragon. I'm sure he'd like it a lot. What was I going to say? Dark Knight says, Pundit, are you a cleric or a paladin? I think everybody who knows me knows that I'm a wizard, actually. So neither a cleric nor a paladin. All right. So anything else we want to talk about tonight?
This is your last chance, guys. You got any questions or something, bring them up on the chat, or we're going to shut this down. I will return to my regularly scheduled debauchery.
Aaron the Pedantic says, the sad thing is I'm about to start a several-year-long Lion and Dragon West Marches game. Why is that sad? Oh, I see. Because you're not going to be playing other games. I get you. Well, don't worry. The thing about Lion and Dragon is it gets really cool at the higher levels, because I think one of the good things about my system is that higher level characters, first of all, are their niche gets stronger, right? Like fighters are the best at killing stuff in Lion and Dragon, and wizards become more powerful. Clerics are real badasses. All the classes are quite strong at high levels, but it's still they can still die. There's still a lot of threat to the game, right? So it still becomes you never lose that sense of tension, because a good critical hit, you might be fighting a Kentish peasant or something and they get one good hit with a spear and you might be screwed, right? So it means that you always have, it's kind of that Game of Thrones thing where you might have a total badass, but he can still die, So high level gaming becomes very good in Lion and Dragon and all of my other Lion and Dragon based systems like Star Adventure.
All right. Well, with that, I think maybe let's shut this down.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's been fun as usual. And let me just see here. Today is the 20th, so our next show is probably going to be on the 17th of January. Is that right?
Okay. I have no idea. I'll put it in the calendar then.
17th of January. So keep in mind for that, and keep your eyes open. And maybe we'll have a guest star. I don't know, because we didn't this time. So maybe we will next time. Hey, maybe it'll be Carl Benjamin. You never know. Or Robert Schwab. Come on, Robert. Don't be a pussy. Come on the show. We'll talk about all your games. We'll ask you about things, and you can argue with us if you like. It's whatever you want. And meanwhile, well, support us on Patreon. Help Venture stay up later, and check out all of our stuff. Keep your eyes open for World of the Last Sun. It's coming really soon. And I hope that all of you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right. Happy Canadian Kwanzaa, everybody. Have a good one.
Feliz Navidad.
Yes, the least Navidad.